Yo, 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 it's Bostian from BossLifeHacks.com, and I'm here at Sofia University, okay? And today I have a video for you, and I'm going to talk about books, okay? Some people asked me to, tell you which books I prefer and why, so I'll make a video on that. And what I wanted to make a little bit special is the fact that I won't give you like a fucking list of books and then you won't read any of them, but I'll simply tell you one book that I like in each genre, so to say. So for example, personal development, business, fantasy, whatever it will be the genre, I'll just give you one title so you can go ahead and read what you prefer to read right now. Now, before we get into the content and the actual books, I would like to make a distinction between audiobooks and paper books, okay? Audible is obviously taking over. Everybody's reading audiobooks right now or listening to them, and I like that as well. It has many benefits, right? When you're commuting, when you're just like washing dishes or doing sports or whatever you prefer, Audible is a really good way of sort of getting that information in your head, learning something new, and not, needing to actually sit with a paperback copy. However, I do prefer paper books. I used to read a lot of them when I was a kid, and I still do because I think there's also a stronger, connection like with your eyes and what you're actually listening to. So I think the knowledge just sinks in better, especially for fantasy books or novels. It helps you because you will be able to actually enjoy, relax with the story. It's not always just about cramming information in your head. Now, let's go to the actual list. First of all, the Bible, okay? And I'll try to edit the books here, so you will see the covers as well, but let's see if that happens or not. Depends on my editor as well, which is doing a kick-ass job, by the way. So the first one is Tools of Titans, okay, by Tim Ferriss. This is an amazing book on so many levels. If you can only get one book, that's the one you should go for. It's just beyond amazing. What Tim Ferriss did is he took interviews of about 2 years with the world's top performers from sports, finance, science, everything, emotional well-being, and he compiled all of those interviews neatly in the Tools of Titans. It's an amazing book. You can just open it, start reading. It will like change your life. I got really good morning rituals from that book. I learned like too much stuff, right? So if you can only get one book, get Tools of Titans from Tim Ferriss. Definitely a perfect book. Okay, to continue, I'd like to give you a book with a short story, okay? Let's not go into the business straight up, but let's start with this. There is this really cool, very tiny book that's actually a book for kids, but actually has a lot of cool stuff for adults as well. It's called The Little Prince. You probably know it. But it's just really, really smart way, and there's like some cool illustrations as well. Super short, but if you're able to think in metaphors, if you're able to sort of take the lessons from the book and apply it, to your life right now, the first chapter about how to draw a boa constrictor and, the sort of all think outside of the box phenomena, it's really, really good. Connected to that, it's also Jonathan Livingston Seagull, another short story for kids, but again, really good metaphors for, overall implication. Now, let's go to more serious stuff, business. The book that I recommend for that is Fastlane Millionaire by MJ DeMarco. I think it probably teaches you more than like the whole university course on business. He talks about, entry levels to the market. He gives you some matrix of making decisions. He tells you about all the different, stages of actually starting and running a business. He just gives you so much stuff. And the great part about that book is that it's all compiled in a very neat way, and he talks through stories, right? So he talks through his, story about how he actually got motivated to start that. And he gives you very practical and real examples. So it's a very fast and interesting read compared to a more dry read. So business books, definitely MJ DeMarco, The Fastlane Millionaire. Now, going a little more self-development course, if you're a dude, if you're a guy, especially in your 20s, you need to read The Way of the Superior Man by David Deida. This is just, if you don't know it, just go and read it right now. It talks a lot about the sort of overall goal you have in your life, the passion, the drive, what it actually means to be a guy. It's really, really cool, for all of those questions, when you're doubting, what should I put priority in? Should I take a risk? Should I do this and that? How even he talks about some partnership, a little bit deeper issues on intimate relationship. It's really solid book for all the guys. Please go ahead and read that. Now, for all of you guys who actually do game, who go pimping, obviously read The Game. It's really, really cool. There's a lot of cool stories. And obviously read The Player. Hashtag shameless self-promotion right here, but yeah, cool book, you know, great reviews. Now, if we go a little more novel route, there is a fantasy book that I really like, and it's called Silmarillion by Tolkien. Obviously, everybody knows Lord of the Rings and Hobbit, but Silmarillion goes a little more in the past, so to say, of Tolkien's world, and there's so many things that I like about that book. There's like all sorts of mythical creatures and barlogs and gods and all this other cool stuff. So if you like fantasy, definitely go ahead and read that. It's a little dry read, it's a very long book, but you will have like a great understanding of all the different like mythological creatures and cool stuff. I really like that as a nerd. Now, if you, like there's this book that's really amazing. It's kind of fantasy, kind of satire, like super funny. It's called The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. There was also a movie made about that, and it's just insane, you know? Like there's these points about, you know, that you always have to have a towel with you, and like it's just ridiculously funny. So please go ahead and read that. It's not too long, it's a short book. There's of course some fantasy elements, but again, it's such a hilarious book that I really recommend to you, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. A little bit similar to that is Terry Pratchett's The Color of Magic. Again, also like, I've read it many years ago, but it's like I really like this mix of sort of fantasy and humor. It's just like hilarious as a book, so I do recommend that. Now, if we turn a little more to the serious note, again, there is a concept in marketing that's called the purple cow. Seth Godin talks a lot about that. I love Seth Godin. He has many others, you know, like Tribes, Linchpin. He has many really cool books, but my favorite from him, and it applies to marketing a lot, is The Purple Cow, which is the idea of differentiation, of perfection, of actually creating your service or a business in a way that it will stand out, right? Like the example he gives, if you drive on the road and you see like a cow, like a regular cow, like you're like, oh wow, it's a cow, and then you see 100 of them, like you stop giving a shit, right? But then if you would see a purple cow, you'd be like, whoa, right? Just a metaphor, read the book, check it, super, super good stuff. Now, another more serious-ish note-related book is on spirituality, which is also super important, and that one is Siddhartha. And it talks about the story of Siddhartha Gautama, I think was Gautama, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but basically the guy who got enlightened and became the Buddha, right? But the story talks about his life, you know. He started off as this like super rich prince and who had everything, and then turned like into ascetic lifestyle, and like he just tried a lot of stuff on this sort of pursuit of happiness, or you know, how to actually become balanced, enlightened, whatever you want to call that. And you can really, the great part about the book is that you follow his life story. It's not some dry like preaching or teaching, but you actually follow a story and sort of learn together with him all the way up until the tree where he sat and become enlightened in the end. Cool, next one, it's exercise. Now, mainly I kind of like videos on exercise because they can show you stuff, but there's this one like old school ghetto book that I really liked on exercise. It's called Convict Conditioning. I don't even know how I find it. I think I got PDF somewhere back in the day a few years ago, but it has really, really cool information. It's all about body weight conditioning, obviously convict conditioning, but it's made in a sort of way where you could potentially, if you do all that, progress to really cool things such as like one hand handstands, one arm pull-ups, like one arm push-ups, like really impressive stuff that you need a lot of strength. And the beautiful part about this is also that it sort of prepares you, right? It doesn't say like, yeah, just start doing pull-ups. No, because that's dumb. It sort of tells you how to do pre-exercises so your joints, your body gets adjusted to those types of exercises, and then it's easier for you to actually start performing, and you don't reach as many plateaus, etc., right? So the last but not least is not actually a book, but a writer. His name is Stephen King. I absolutely love all of the books that I've read from him. His writing style is just so amazing. However, funny enough, none of his books actually made it to my top list, but they're all just solid. So I would just like to mention him as a writer with a really, really good style. You know, you absolutely get sucked into those stories. And he also, if you're interested in writing or in terms of copywriting, I think it helps as well, any sort of creative writing. He has a book called On Writing, which is half biography, half tips about writing. And it really, really helps you sort of get the right mentality. Just write your 1,000 words per day, etc., etc. So all in all, I hope you like these books. As said, if you can, feel free to skip through the video, you know, rewatch some of the parts that will tell you about the specific area where you would like to read something. And now another thing, regarding all those areas or even any other areas, if there is a book that you absolutely love and that you think is just like beyond, right? It's like beyond, please hit me up. Let me know what you think I should read. And that goes especially for the fantasy genre. Like, I don't want to read like too many business books right now because my mind is already full with like all the information. But if you know a great fantasy book, like, you know, like fucking dragons, elves, like crazy animals, like let me know the title. I would love to read that. And yeah, as said, let me know what you thought about this video down in the comments. I'll definitely answer them and be in touch until the next video. Peace out.